All right, let's call this meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, moment of silence. Thank you. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Mason.
Present.
Trustee Reinders.
Present.
Trustee McNaughton. Trustee Consolino. Trustee Fialco.
Present.
Trustee Stylen. Mayor Knightsky-Troicki.
Present. Next is community recognition, which we don't have any. Is there any amendments to the agenda? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make that motion.
Trustee Fialco?
I'll
second.
Trustee Reinders? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Fialco.
Aye.
Trustee Fialco, sorry. I got to turn the microphone.
Aye.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Reinders.
Aye.
Motion approves. Approval of minutes, October 11th, 2023, Village Board meeting. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Trustee Mason, is there a second?
I'll second.
Trustee Reinders, any discussion? Trustee Mason?
No, ma'am.
Trustee Reinders?
Nope.
Trustee Fialco?
None.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Reinders.
Aye.
Trustee Fialco.
Aye.
Motion carries. October 25th, 2023, Village Board meeting. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Trustee Mason?
Second.
Trustee Reinders? Trustee Mason, is there any discussion?
No, ma'am.
Trustee Reinders?
No.
Trustee Fialco?
I'm going to end up abstaining. I was on vacation during this one anyway, so no, nothing for me.
I can vote, but then that's not majority. So does anybody want to table it for next meeting then? You don't have to abstain. I mean, I know you want to, but you weren't there, but.
Yeah, just to keep it clean, I wasn't here, so I'm going to abstain. I know what you're saying, though.
So even if we all voted for it, it wouldn't pass because.
It would be null and void.
Yeah.
It would actually be null and void.
Yeah.
So I would, you can entertain a motion to table it or to continue to the next board meeting
What?
for the approval of those minutes from October 25th.
I don't see a reason to table it. I read through the packet.
No, that's not
We had
what
plenty of time.
That's not what he's saying.
But
Go ahead.
May I?
Yep, mhm.
Go ahead, please.
My apologies. The issue that we have right now is quorum. Currently, right now, we have a full quorum in order to pass the legislative agenda. If Trustee Fialco is going to be abstaining for purposes of the motion on the October 25th Village Board meeting minutes, we wouldn't have a sufficient quorum to pass that legislative item. So what I suggested to the mayor is that this body can entertain a motion continuing approval of the October 25th minutes to the next board meeting. That he can vote on. That, Trustee Fialco, in my opinion, he could vote on because he was...
I wasn't here for the meeting.
I understand. I just thought you had time to read through it. Fine, I'll make that motion to move it to the next meeting so we can move forward.
And I'll second it.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll to table to the next board meeting.
Okay, so I'm calling Fialco also. Okay. Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Reinders.
Aye.
Trustee Fialco.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Public comment? John Walters.
Hi, everybody. I want to thank everybody that came out for the community HTRO blood drive on Saturday. It was a huge success. We live in such a great community full of wonderful, giving, selfless souls. I wanted to thank everybody for that. I also wanted to wish everybody a happy and joy-filled holiday season, whatever your beliefs happen to be. But I also want to take time this holiday season to celebrate the true meaning of Christmas by glorifying the one who gave it to us. A child was born humbly in humble circumstances, and his sacrificial death reflected the same. However, both were significant for humanity. Without the death of Christ, salvation isn't possible. So without the birth, that was neither possible. Jesus coming to earth that night changed everything, and it's a moment that should be celebrated with all our hearts. Certainly enjoying parties and food and gifts, but don't forget to point your heart, family, and those around you to Christmas' true meaning. God reached out to us, and Christ came with a plan for our salvation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Walters. Next is reports and communication from President and other officers. Village Manager Joe Baber, or Interim Village Manager Joe Baber.
Thank you. I would just like to wish everybody happy holiday season. Thank you.
Same to you. Thank you, Joe. Village Trustees, Trustee Mason.
To reiterate what the village manager just said, happy holidays and Merry Christmas to everybody. Thank you very much.
Trustee Fialko.
I just want to say, I have no formal report. Merry Christmas, and may God bless our wonderful community, and please be safe during the Christmas season.
Thank you. Trustee Reinders.
Ditto. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to everybody. Have a safe and healthy Happy New Year, and we look forward to next year, and I hope that everybody stays happy and healthy for the rest of the year.
Thank you, Trustee Reinders. Village Clerk.
What everybody just said.
Village Attorney.
Ditto, what everybody just said. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to everyone.
Public Safety Officials. And me, same thing. Merry Christmas to everybody, and we'll see you next year. All right, moving on to consent agenda. Consider for approval the Treasurer's Report of Cash and Investments for the period ending September 30th, 2023, in the amount of $43,299,877.57. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Fialko. Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Reinders.
Aye.
Motion carries. L1, consider for approval the mayor's appointment for 3 new committee members to the Community Development Committee. Whoa, hold on one second. Tara Williams, Kenneth Marson, and Laura Elkins. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion, Trustee Mason?
No, ma'am.
Any discussion, Trustee Reinders? Any discussion, Trustee Fialko?
Just a quick question. Did we lose 3 people? Is that why we're bringing in 3, or are we just adding 3?
I don't think I don't think Trustee Stylen had a full committee, so these 3 came to her and volunteered to be on the committee.
Okay. Are there any of the people here tonight? No?
I don't think so.
Nope. All right, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Reinders.
Aye.
Trustee Fialko.
Aye.
Motion carries. Number 2, consider for approval ordinance 23-069, an ordinance adopting the levy and collection of taxes for the Village of Homer Glen, Will County, Illinois, for the fiscal year beginning May 1st, 2023, and ending April 30th, 2024. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Trustee Mason.
I'll second.
Trustee Fialko. Trustee Mason, any discussion?
No, ma'am.
Trustee Fialko.
Nothing other than this is something that we've customarily done every year since we adopted the road district from the township, and is at about just a little bit more than a quarter of what that was functioning when it was under the township. So
Thank
that's
you.
it for me.
Trustee Reinders.
Just like to note that there is no increase in the road district levy, so we're good.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Fialko.
Aye.
Trustee Reinders.
Aye.
Motion carries. Number 4, consider for approval ordinance number 23-070, an ordinance approving an employment agreement between the Village of Homer Glen and Joseph D. Baber for the
So moved.
position of village manager. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Trustee Mason.
I'll second.
Trustee Reinders. Trustee Mason.
I think Joe's done an outstanding job. He's keeping us informed. We appreciate everything that you do. I have plenty of conversation with him. He keeps me up to speed.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Trustee Reinders.
Looking forward to working with you throughout the year for my last year in as a trustee. So, no, welcome aboard. Thank you. You've worked for this village for a very long time, so
Thank
be
you.
happy to work with you.
Trustee Fialko.
Joe, can I talk to Joe directly? Joe, you've done a great job. You've been here. You are one of the longest employees here that I know of besides John Sawyer. And I think you've earned the position of village manager. I appreciate the fact that you live in the community in Homer Glen, where in the past we've had several, I believe it was up to 11, that were here that were not part of our community, who were here for a year and a half at a time, and then would move on and step up their ladder and move to somewhere else. So you're invested in our community, and you have been for a long time, and I say thank you very much for all the hard work you've put in all these years, and I think it's a overdue, well-deserved position for you, Joe.
I got nothing. We all know you're great. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Mason.
Aye, welcome aboard.
Trustee Reinders. Aye. Trustee Fialko.
Aye.
Motion carries. Consider for approval the 2024 meeting schedule calendar for the Village Board, Plan Commission, and committees. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Trustee
I'll
Reinders?
second.
Trustee Mason? Trustee Reinders?
No, it looks good to me.
Trustee Mason?
Clear cut.
Trustee Fialko?
Nothing for me.
What did we miss?
I thought you read both of them, though.
Oh, she,
I don't have any.
Oh, you know what? It's L3 and L4.
they're together.
They're together.
Oh, I see it. Okay, sorry, my fault. Sorry. So how do I do that now that a motion was made for a
We can go
5?
ahead and vote on that one and then go back one.
Yeah, Trustee Reinders made a motion and Trustee Mason second. 5. I skipped 4.
We can just finish it.
Or no, or did I skip 3?
You skipped 4.
I skipped 4.
So why don't we just
Finish 5 or go back to 4?
finish 5 and go back to 4?
Okay. We're on 5. Sorry.
Trustee Reinders.
Consider for approval the 24 meeting. You said, do you have anything to say?
No.
Oh, Trustee Fialko?
Nothing from me.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Reinders.
Aye.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Fialko.
Aye.
Motion carries. Going back to 4. Consider for approval ordinance number 23-070, an ordinance approving an employment agreement between the Village of Homer Glen and Joseph D. Baber for the position of village manager.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any more discussion?
None from me.
We can finish it now, Joe.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Reinders.
Aye.
Trustee Fialko.
Aye.
Motion carries. Number 6, consider for the approval ordinance 23-071, extending modified standards in lieu of 220-1005-C6B of the Homer Glen Village Code for temporary signs through December 31st, 2024. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Trustee Fialko, is there a second?
I'll second.
Trustee Mason. Trustee Fialko, do you have any discussion?
I do. We've done this for the past 2 years that I've been here. This would be the 3rd. It was done the year before I got started, and I'm all for doing it one more, again, till December 31st, 2024. The only question I would ask this board, and I have heard it from many, many residents, the feather banners for businesses, when it's business orientated, is great. But the things that say slots everywhere, there seems to be a little bit that the residents don't like it, to see all these things that are banners that say slots everywhere. I believe one of the trustees has made mention to it before. I don't know if we can take and amend this, I guess, to make it so, well, I want to hear the rest of the board too.
Okay.
But I would be looking for the input from the board first to see what they think about just removing from this agreement to extend it the feather banners or anything that's flapping in the wind out there that says slots all over the place.
Okay, Trustee Fialko, if you don't mind, Janie had put a new packet for this
Oh, I did
piece
not.
on here, and Janie, would you like to explain
Sure.
what the changes were from what we were in our packets, what was at the day?
So this went through the Economic Development Committee, and instead of just extending the relaxed standards that we've had for a little while now here, they felt that it was time to take both feather banners and inflatable tubes off of the relaxed standards. So in your packet, and I put a corrected copy on the dais this afternoon, and you can see the markup that
An Exhibit
removes
A?
those two.
Okay, this is the first time I'm seeing it. Thank you.
Yeah, and then, so that the ordinance has the clean update that does not include those two types of signs in it, and then extending it for 1 year. The other thing I should mention, and I've been working with Melissa long enough to know, and I could hear her saying this if she was here tonight, we cannot control content of signs due to freedom of speech. So we can control sign type, placement, you know, that kind of setbacks, those kinds of things, but we can't control content. So anybody that is now doing a feather banner that says slots, they could conceivably do a ground-mounted sign that says the same. You just can't control content. So,
That's correct.
But it does get rid of those two sign types that were not normal to our code, and
Okay, that's all.
still gives businesses plenty of flexibility to continue to promote themselves while we have road construction and all the other stuff going on.
Thank you, Janie. So Trustee Fialko, I'd like to give you the floor back, so now you know,
Okay.
because you had said something
So,
about the feather
The
banners.
way I hear it, we can eliminate feather banners and the floppy man thing, but we can't restrict what the signs say, and legal agrees with that, so I'm good with that. I think that kind of accomplishes what we were looking for.
Yep.
And I think the committee did a good job of getting that changed. But this was the first time I saw the change was now.
I
So
should have
thank
said
you for
that before discussion. I forgot who made the second, but Trustee Reinders, do you have anything to add to that?
No, I agree 100%. Get rid of the blow-up dolls and the feather banners, they're all over the place. And
Trustee
some
Mason?
of them have no writing on them, and there's still feather banners out there.
Trustee Mason?
I'm in agreement. Anything we can do to help the businesses, if they have to put up some signage, I agree with Trustee Fialko. In the post-pandemic environment, it's hard enough to find good employees, let alone good ones, and whatever we can do to assist.
But we're taking away too.
I understand
Okay.
what we're doing.
So I do have a question on this, though. Will we be sending a letter to all the businesses, letting them know that we no longer allow flag banners or what? Yeah?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
I think in that may I? I think in that process, though, we should let them know that we are extending it, so there's no confusion, that we're extending it, but just not to those two items.
Right.
Correct. With a couple of restrictions added.
Yeah. That's the way I understood it, was we're extending minus the two items, so.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Fialko.
Aye.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Reinders.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, moving on to old business, I'm going to ask that we don't talk about 1 or 2, discussion regarding the fees for gaming. After last meeting, I took all of what we all discussed and what was said and tried to individually pick each trustee's brain about different things, and Trustee Fialko had briefly stopped in today and we went over some things. Janie and I went over some numbers, just trying to crunch some things. So I'd like to provide you guys with that information in hand before we have any more discussion. And then review of liquor license process. Due to the fact that Trustee Reinders can't speak on that process and there's only 2 trustees, I think we should refrain from discussing on that as well.
I agree.
Is there any new business?
No, ma'am.
And
No, ma'am.
yes, just one
Trustee
thing.
Fialko?
The only thing I want to talk to under new business would be, well, no, this is old business. We're still under old business.
Oh, sure.
So under old business, we have our treasurer's report that was included in the consent agenda today. And everybody always wonders, well, how well is the village doing financially? They aren't able to look up the numbers. But I just want to let everybody know, since March 31st in 2021, the village had $22,293,000. As of right now, as of September 30th, 2023, we are at $43,299,000 roughly. So this village, with our financial director and with the trustees that we have on this board, I think we've done a great job without raising taxes. And we're in a good position financially to do some things that we need to do in this village. And we talked about that a little bit today in prioritizing things that we need for our community. So thank you.
Thank you. I do have one thing on old business. Trustee Fialko, when is Homerfest for 2024?
Homerfest is the last 4 days of June, 27th, 28th, and 29th. 27th, 28th, 29th, and 30th.
We have a meeting.
Fireworks would be on the 27th of June.
I was just looking at what we just approved, and it says June 26th would be a meeting.
That's the meeting before we get started, yes. So usually when we're putting the fest together, I'm here for 2 weeks.
I'm just saying we have a meeting the day before we
No,
open
but
for
the
fest.
meeting we have in the tent.
No, I'm talking about board meeting. We just approved a board meeting for June 26th, and usually we cancel that.
Oh,
I just wanted to point that out, because
I would recommend leave
Usually
it on at this time, or we could always cancel.
Okay.
That's what we've done in the past.
In case there's business.
About the meeting for the fest. The board meeting usually gets canceled that week. It's always been left on there for some reason, and then we cancel it at that first meeting in June.
Okay. All right. I think that's it for old business. Any new business? Trustee Fialko, do you have anything for new business? Come on, we could set a record here.
There is one thing. I'd like us to make, so we can expedite our meetings, we have the minutes, right? I was wondering, I believe we can, why can't we include the minutes of our meetings in the consent agenda? We have the time to review them, and if somebody wants to pull it out, then we can do that. Is that, I think that's possible, right?
Have you ever seen a set of minutes that haven't been discussed? Besides the one just now?
Yeah, I have. I'm just saying, for the ones that we want to take out, we leave that to the trustee that wants to take it out, but I think this would help expedite things, because I've seen George go through every one of them, and we approved all but one, I think, and we sat here and went through 10 sets of agendas, or minutes that we were approving.
We can give it a try, but I just don't want it to add to the meeting of removing.
No, I'm thinking it would shorten it up.
Okay. When something gets put on the consent agenda and one person wants it removed,
That's all it takes.
that's all it takes is one person?
Yep.
Attorney?
Yes, yes.
Madam Mayor.
Okay.
Madam Mayor, just real quick, we're reviewing an ordinance or a procedure that may be coming forward at the next meeting regarding the way minutes are written.
I saw that. Okay.
With that said, can I say one more thing? If you're reviewing that in the way they're written, can you please go to Robert's Rules of Law, and I've recited it here twice, and make sure that we include that as part of it, because I'm in agreement with probably what the direction you're headed. And I think if we reference that as part of our, you said a new ordinance?
I believe it's an ordinance, yes.
Okay.
We just got something from the attorney today. I haven't had a chance to review it.
All right. And if you need that, I can give it to you too. But anyway, I get it.
Okay. If there's no workshop and there's no executive session, is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Have a good night.
Merry Christmas.